What's going on, guys? It's Julian, it's Friday, and it's Empanada Friday. We're gonna do 2/3 kinds of empanadas today. So we're gonna start off by doing our ground beef. And this is one of the ones we're gonna do 2 different ways. So, for anybody that doesn't know, an empanada is like a meat pie. Sometimes it's got dessert in there as well, like a guava or a cream cheese. This one is going to be more of a Puerto Rican inspired. Notice how I didn't say Puerto Rican style empanada, because like I said, vanilla face, that's me, the vanilla gorilla. So what I've done is seen how people make theirs, and I adapt it when I like certain things, certain aspects of that dish, and I add or take away or subtract. So, but there's plenty of different styles of empanadas. The Colombians have one, the Venezuelans have one, the Mexicans have one. So, and then usually I would do multiple videos with something like this and show you guys how to make the wrappers. I was actually supposed to have a couple people more over than me, just me and my wife today. So that kind of fell through. So I'm not doing the wrappers or the empanada skins by hand this time. I actually went out and bought them. You can get them in their freezer section at most stores. Goya makes them. And all they are is little discs. Right? So the next time I have people over, I'll actually walk through 2 of them, because there's 2 different ones. These are just a standard empanada wrapper, and all it really is flour, sugar, water, egg, both whole and just the yolk, and then salt. It's generally the basic concept for this. The other one that they have, you sometimes see them as they're red, and those are just done with annatto seed oil instead of, or annatto water, where they just let the annatto seed bloom in warm water or warm oil, and then they go from there. And that's why they got a real red one. So the other one we're going to do is using some of that carnitas we made. By we, I mean I. And then I'm going to season this up just a little bit more because I want it to have a punch. Now, very bare minimum ingredients over here. I think with Puerto Rican food in general, I think they thrive on the more minimalist ingredients or spices and seasonings, mainly because a lot of their seasonings and spices, like this adobo right here, is so many different things punched into one. Like sometimes you'll have ones that have chicken bouillon, which is essentially a powderized version of chicken stock into a little cube, and they've got it both for beef and chicken. You know, it's outstanding seasoning. Like whenever I do anything with, like if I'm doing anything, you know, Puerto Rican inspired, or, you know, that kind of Latin flair, because out here in Deltona, it's a huge population of Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Dominicans, you know, there's some Mexican out here, but primarily there's a huge Puerto Rican influence out here in Deltona. You know, so growing up, I got to eat and try a lot of different Puerto Rican dishes, Dominican dishes, you know, stuff like that. So it's nice to continually do something, or continually eat something and try something and kind of pull it into your repertoire of bags and tricks, or, you know, different odds and ends things that you can play around with as far as seasoning and flavor profiles go. And these are always a crowd pleaser. Now you don't have to fry. We are frying these. I've had quite a few different times. Baked, I don't like them baked. They don't get as crispy. They don't get as tender, in my opinion, as a baked one does. So we're for sure going with fried. And we're also going to do sweet plantain, which is Maduros. And you could buy them in a bag, you could buy them whole and then chop them up. I feel like the freezer ones do just fine because they're already, you know, pre-portioned out, cut up, and I don't have to get my cutting board or my knives or my hands black, because whenever you mess with plantain, you cut plantain, you move plantain, your hands tend to turn black. It's from the oxidation in the plantain skins. So, and the beef we're using is actually ground chuck, and this of course is also from Fatbacks. Nope, this one's not from Fatbacks, I'm sorry. This one might have been just from a Publix. You know, we buy a lot of ground chuck, which is 80-20 ground chuck. If you're using burgers, meatloaf, you really want to go 80-20. You can go 75-25, you're just going to have to add more breadcrumb because it's going to leak out a lot of that fat. You can already see how much fat is in this, and we're not going to keep this in here. We're not going to use this because then our insides as well as the outside of the empanadas would be extremely greasy. So if you guys are messaging, sorry about that, I will get to them, but I'm kind of behind the curve. I started a little bit later than I usually do, and like I said, usually I'd have a bunch of people over for something like this, and they'd make rice, beans. I actually had my beans soaking, but I just didn't feel like making them today. So, and I've showed you guys how to make the beans before. So, we're actually going to drain this completely out into our colander that's in the sink, and that'll take away most of that grease. We're going to use a little bit of that grease though. Not much. We'll let this reheat, and we'll start sweating down some garlic and some onion. And then I've also got some green olives that I'm going to throw in here, but I'm going to throw in that after I do a couple of the ones for my wife. My wife does not like olives. I'm not a fan at all. So I'm not going to do hers until the end. So, much like when we're toasting garlic, we got some minced garlic here that we're starting with. Going to heat it up. Once it starts to become fragrant, you can already start to see some of the smaller pieces are starting to brown. Once it starts to become fragrant, that's when you know is right about the right time to add, you know, your onions or peppers if you had peppers or something along those lines to cool down the pan and to help prevent this garlic from burning. And so it's doing all right though. We're gonna let it go for just a little bit, and we'll start adding our minced up onions. And this is just a regular white onion, and this is going to be for our filling inside for that ground beef. I might do a little bit in with the pork and a little bit in with the ground beef, but I think I might do all of this for the pork because I want that ground beef to just pack a whole bunch of flavor. And we'll actually throw that ground beef back in here, and that's when we'll start seasoning with the adobo. More salt, more pepper. There is salt and pepper usually in adobo. You can buy two different types of adobo, one with and without salt, or one with and without black pepper. I always use black pepper anyway, so I always buy that one. So I guess we're just going to sweat this down. So let's look at these comments. See 7 people in here. What's going on, Katie? You're missing great empanadas. Sadly, I didn't do this with fresh tortillas. What do plantains taste like? They're really close to a banana. Tammy, if you're still in here, I don't know if you are or not. They're really close to a banana. They have got more of a bite as far as texture goes to a banana. But they're very good. These ones we're going to take and deep fry and just hit them with a little bit of salt. They're already sweet, so we don't need to, add really anything to them. Now there's 2 different styles. Now I had the Maduros when I used to work for a chef named Camilo. I'm not 100% sure if they are Colombian, because I know a lot of people in Central America and even down into South America, they use sweet spices, unripened plantains, which is generally a Puerto Rican thing, for mofongo, pasteles, and even in tostones, which is a unripened plantain that you cut into pieces about this. You would deep fry it like that, take it out, and then either use a tortilla press, a bowl, a pot, and smash it till it was, very, very thin. And you would take that, and then you would deep fry them again, and then salt and pepper, And I don't know the exact terminology for it. You know, growing up, like I said, a huge population, Puerto Rican population here in Deltona. It was always called Puerto Rican ketchup. And they would take ketchup and mayo, and then adobo, a little bit of garlic, maybe some sazon, and then mix it up. And that's what they would dip in the tostones when we were at the, I can't remember his name. I ate lunch with him quite a few times in high school. But he'd always carry his backpack wherever he went. And he would have his own bottle of ketchup, his own bottle of mayo, his own adobo, his own hot sauce, his own sazon, his own black pepper in his backpack. And he would make this up every day whenever he would get tater tots from the cafeteria. You know, so I've always heard it called Puerto Rican ketchup. I'm pretty sure it's, like, I've seen it called fancy sauce in some places as well. So I guess it just depends on who's making it, who's calling it whatever. I'm going to take this and mix it back up. Just so it can come back up. And this is where we're going to start seasoning. And you can always add more seasoning. You can never take away once it's in there. Something you should be very, very mindful. Now this next step is not, you know, Puerto Rican, more of a French influence as far as cooking goes, or American since we've taken it over. We're going to add chicken stock. Kind of like I've done before with you guys, where I've added a liquid, then added a butter. Once that liquid has almost reduced completely, this turns it into a saucy meat. And we're not doing anything. It's not going to change the flavor combination. It's not going to do anything. It's just going to make all of this, the seasoning and everything that I'm putting in here, hug the meat, hug those onions. So I just need to get a little bit of unsalted butter, because like I said, in the adobo, there's already salt in there. So you don't want to burden it down with too much salt. You know, you'll obviously taste it before we wrap these or pop them in there and close them up. I'll show you guys a really cool tool. You can get it on Amazon. It came in 3-pack. Right? It's called a dough press set from Prepworks. 3 different sizes. These are fantastic tools, because if you didn't have this, you can do it one of 2 ways. You can do the ravioli way, which is roll out one, you know, sheet of pasta, because it is a pasta, or a form of bread, form of pasta. You could do that, and then, you know, kind of figure out how big your empanadas would be, and then put filling in it, roll it, and then you would put an egg wash in between the 2 layers, or even water. You'd press it down to get all the air pockets around the filling out, and then you would just take a cup upside down, cut it, or if you had like a ring mold, or, you know, a cookie press or a cookie cutter, you know, if you had one of those things, you could cut it that way. It'd be quick. The other way is to roll out each individual disc, which takes a little bit longer, and then go and fold them over like you would half moon, and then press down and crimp it with a fork. Third way is you could sit there and do like dumplings do in Asian cultures, and you could pleat, fold over. I'm not very good or have the dexterity in my fingers like that, so this is the quickest and most efficient way. And like I said, for $6 you get 3 different sizes. Let's go ahead and try this to see where our seasoning's at. Right. Definitely needed more adobo. And I've got my salt and pepper here, because there is some things that I like having a bigger punch in black pepper than most places carry. Let's get another spoon, try that again, just to make sure we're there. So like I said, you want to get most of this liquid out of here, because when you start adding that butter and you add that fat, that's what's going to hold it and really bring it all together and make it really hug the meat and the onions and the garlic. Yeah. Boom. It's perfect that way. Hit it with a little black pepper. I actually broke my pepper mill yesterday, or the other day when I was cooking with you guys. Jumped right out of my hand and onto the floor and smash. So, we're almost there with that liquid. And then we'll pop this over to the side. We'll roll a couple, we'll fry a couple, and that'll be it. So just take the time to talk to you guys for just a second. Thank you for everybody that's participated and all the, this versus that questions from last week. And the cookie one was probably my favorite, seeing everybody's response and then seeing a lot of the pictures. Really enjoyed that, liked the back and forth discussion. I learned some new cookies that I've never seen or heard of before. So that was really cool. The most interesting one was those, I can't remember what the guy called it, but it was it looked like a black cookie that was, or a chocolate cookie, like a fudgy cookie that was circular and then smashed just a little bit. And it looks like it was rolled in powdered sugar. Can't remember what he called it. I've actually got it saved on my phone so I can attempt to make them. I might actually do a couple dessert videos with you guys. Desserts aren't my strong point. However, there is quite a few things that I can do with desserts that are pretty good. So it's almost there. Like I said, we're looking for almost most of that liquid to come out. So it's almost there. A little bit of that is fat as well. So I'm gonna go ahead, add our butter, kill the heat, and just swirl it. This is gonna, like I said, it's gonna make all that stuff that's in the bottom of the pan, the sauce, to really hug this meat. Let's actually get our spatula and get all those onions, all that garlic back in there. Don't want to waste anything. Like I said, the residual heat from this pan will help melt this. And as it gets hotter and it melts, you would think that it would loosen everything up, but it actually tightens everything back up. When you can coat the back of a spoon, it's called nappe. You can coat the back of a spoon. That's when you know your sauce, your reduction, your syrups are done. So you can already start to see it's gotten thicker. And like I said, I used unsalted butter for this because there is a huge amount of salt in that adobo seasoning already. And a lot of that is just salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder. You would have a paprika in there, maybe. For sure you got turmeric, you have that in there. And then, like I said, depending on which brand, some of them have and don't have MSG. MSG is perfectly fine. I don't really cook with it too often. It can be overdone. Some people do get headaches from it, so be wary of that. But I think it's, if it had a different name, I think it would go over well and better with the American population than it has. Because MSG is essentially just salt. It's just got a bigger name and a scarier name. Same components and concepts as salt. So we've got that. All right. Let's go ahead and pull it over here. Like I said, if I haven't answered anybody's questions, what's going on, Brandy? Was that just ground beef and onion? It was ground beef, it was onion, it was some garlic, some adobo, and then chicken stock and butter, just to thicken it up. Move this back so you guys can see. I'm actually going to get rid of these comments right now. So we got our pork ones back here. Like I said, I'm actually going to take some of this ground beef out, and I'll show you what I'm going to do, because I think capers and olives are really misunderstood. They're for sure used improperly. They're for sure a salt bomb, especially capers. But I think in this one, I've had them so many times with and without the olives, I really prefer them. I think, like I said, the olive really helps take this, takes it to a whole nother level. Getting the shit kicked out of me by an olive can right now. Like I said, I like using the green ones. Usually I'll take, you know, the garlic stuffed olives and toss them in here. And I don't really cut them, I just sit here and break them up with a spoon. You don't need much, but I like a lot of that liquid in there too. Like I said, that brininess from the olive really sets it off. All right. So, let's go ahead and get our little tool here. Pop that bad boy right there. This is how easy it is. Like I said, usually you'd have to have a fork. Usually you'd have to have a fork or, you know, a glass, a little water, a little egg. But I'm gonna see how well this holds. I might get a little glass of water because I don't want to have to do shit twice. You know? A lazy man or a woman works twice, and I don't really want to have to work twice. So just a little water on your finger. Water works fine, just as good as egg wash. I like doing it on 1/2, so that way it has something to adhere and stick to. So I'll try to stuff these, but I don't want to overstuff them. I want to make sure they close really well and pretty neatly. I actually get some paper towels or a little rag so I can wash my fingers off so I'm not greasing everything up. All we do is we take them, crimp them down, and boom. The moment of truth. Pull out a little bit of that, pop that down. See? Does all the crimping for us. It's okay if it came out a little bit. As long as it closes and seals really well, you won't have any issues. And I've got my fryer back there set at 325. You know, all this meat's already cooked, so all you're really doing is crisping this up. But I feel like that it works better at a lower temperature because it doesn't just flash it real hard like 350 would. And I was telling you guys earlier, let me try this one more time just to make sure it's not salty, make sure it's copacetic and all around good. Fantastic. Like I said, for everybody jumping in, we're doing empanadas. Doing them 3 different ways. I just did one with the carnitas, and that's the same carnitas we made on, what day did I make that? Wednesday? I either made that on Wednesday or Tuesday when I did the tamales. So, and then just ground beef, onions and garlic in one with a little bit of adobo, a little salt, stuff like that. So, let me see if I can't get that extra little bit off there that it did. And then the other one is the same ground beef, but just with the addition of olives. Like I said, I think the empanada, especially, this one's got a tear in it. Let's try this again. Especially with the beef empanada, I think it really lends itself to a green olive or an olive, that brininess, that little salt bomb, if you will. It's perfectly. Plus, I really like olives, so it's another reason for me to throw olives into something. So we might go with a little bit less of a filling in this one. So a little bit smaller of a discs. Plus, you don't, like I said, you don't want to overfill these things, and then, you know, they blow up on the inside, or they just don't close all the way. All right. Push all that air out. And like I said, the next time I do these, I'll make sure I have, you know, more people over here so I can, you know, do these by hand, because I don't like using anything from a bag. I don't like using anything from a can. If I can absolutely 100% get away from it. But Well, it's just me and my wife for right now. I don't feel like going through all of that and then having to do 4 or 5 videos to, you know, in just one day. Really kind of seems to bog most people out. You don't get the same kind of, you know, interaction as you would in, you know, a 1 or 2 type of video thing. So I didn't really want to bombard everybody around. Plus, we had some errands to run today, so do a couple more of these beef ones. Hey, do you want a pork one too, or just beef? Okay. So you guys got to see behind the scenes right there. Right. So most of that liquid will come out. So, but it's all right. Clean this off. I'll take you over to the fryer. And we'll fry a couple of these bad boys. So like I said, 325. I feel is the perfect temperature for these. Stay a little bit of apart. Golden brown, delicious. GVD is what we're looking for. And like I said, I like 325 because it does cook it a little bit slower than that 350. You don't have a blast right off the bat with that 350. And I feel like they get, you know, crispier the lower you go. You know, just what I've noticed over the years of doing this stuff. Get our paper towels ready. Let's see what kind of comments we got. Hopefully you guys are somewhat entertained. Empanadas are great. Let's see. Are they bitter? No, they're not. These ones are actually really sweet. That's pretty much it for questions, you know. Thank you, George. I appreciate that. So obviously these would be a lot better if they were, you know, really made like I do everything else by hand and by not using store-bought shit, but you know, when it's just 2 people and you don't really feel like cooking a whole bunch of crazy stuff at one time. What's going on, Trado? Making empanadas, bro, and Maduros. Look at that, you hear I roll them rolls, huh? So I like to shake it just a little bit, make sure they're not sticking together. At this point, it's fine if they get a little close because all that tackiness has went away. But either way, I don't want to chance it. And also, they'll start to flip to one side, so just make sure you're getting both sides equally fried. Like I said, golden brown, delicious. That's what we're looking for. We might do our little French fry. Might do a little French fry trick, where we kick it up to 350. Once these have gotten like a nice light golden brown, most of that, all that dough is already cooked as it is anyways. So let's crank up that heat for just a minute. Let's come back here. We'll actually roll a couple more. No, I didn't make the dough. I was supposed to have a couple people over. So that was gonna make me drive out and really make the dough. Making pizza balls here. I'm actually gonna do a pizza episode very soon where I show you guys how to make dough. That one, you know, we'll make probably on Monday. We won't make the pizza, we'll make the dough on Monday. And then we will actually let it cold proof, which just essentially means rise slowly in the refrigerator. I like letting it go for 3 days. It imparts a nice, you know, beer, you know, that beery, yeasty taste and smell to it, because it gets to hang out and it gets to grow up in the fridge for just a little bit. You know, you can, obviously you don't have to do it that way. You can take it and use it right away. But I like it's lighter dough, it's airier dough, and like I said, I like that yeasty, that bread, beer feel and vibe to it. So that's what I like doing. So the next time I do empanadas, for sure I'll be making the dough. Like I said, I just did not feel like doing it just for 2 people, and I didn't feel like having everybody on 4 different videos today. I kind of feel like I burn everybody out on, ah shit, that one completely didn't close. but it's okay. Let's try this again. We'll get it. If not, we start over. All right. So there we go, closed. Take off any of that excess. So, next time for sure though. What kind of dough did you use? I just bought this. This one's just Goya. You go in the freezer section in most places, and it's right next to, it'll have, you know, international foods, or in mine it'll say like Hispanic foods, because it's, like I said, a very big population here. I actually need a little bit more. Very big Spanish population in my area. So it's actually just labeled. They've got one specifically for Spanish, and then one specifically for, you know, like Asian, Japanese, you know, stuff like that, Chinese. They'll have a separate aisle, but it's in the freezer section right next to your doughs, or if they have, like I said, an international aisle in the frozen side, that's where you get these. And for 10, I think it was like $3, which isn't bad, you know. Like I said, it's always better to make them, but, ooh, that was almost a ghost in the house. So our oil is pretty much set, right? So like I said, you can eat them now, but you want golden brown delicious. So we got them sitting at 350. And we might as well throw in our sweet plantains while we're here, because like I said, these things are outstanding. They are delicious. Gotta get a little knife because the finger's a little greasy. Tear this apart. And then we'll throw them in there with the empanadas. Right. I'm gonna show you what they look like. They ain't nothing special. They essentially just look like a ripe banana. However, these things are so good. So much better than tostones, in my opinion. The temperature is a little bit higher. And those things are in the freezer aisle. These won't take long. Now you want the plantain, the Maduros, you want them darker. They're gonna look like they're burnt. However, there's a lot of sugar in these, and sugar caramelizes really hard and really quick. So you want them to still be soft. Right? You can overcook these things, but they are gonna, like I said, they are gonna look a little charred because they are, like I said, got so much sugar in them. And I just like hitting these things with a little bit of salt. You can actually sprinkle just a little bit of the adobo on top of the on the empanadas if you'd like. And then depending on who you are, throw a little Texas Pete in there. Dip these things in a little PR ketchup, fancy sauce, whatever you want to call it. And call it a day. Our empanadas are done. We're going to go ahead and take those out and let our sweet plantains go. Right, let's look at them real quick. Look at those. Always, always, always drain off. What I like to do is I like to set them up just so most of that oil dries off. You can do it with a spoon. Like I said, that way. That way, a lot of that oil from the inside dries off. And we're just waiting on our plantains. Hit it with just a little bit, not much. It's not really going to stick too much. You might have a little bit of salt crystals in there, little flavor crystals. You know, there's no gorgeous plating or, you know, crazy setup for these. Just like tacos, pretty much get them how you get them. Right. So, that's what your plantain's going to start looking like. It is, like I said, it's going to get a little dark. But it's okay, it's just the sugar caramelizing. These things are delicious. like eating dessert with dinner. And you can actually take these, the ones that we folded up, you can actually freeze them. Wrap them in a little wax paper, put them in a bag, and you can freeze them as is. You don't have to cook them. I would suggest not cooking them and then freezing them because the dough will get all just soggy and slimy. It won't really do well on the way out. When you try to pick them up back in the fryer, you know, it won't do too well. So like I said, nothing is pretty about this plating, but everything is pretty about the food we're going to enjoy. So, thank you. One second. Thank you for spending the time with me this week on tamales and whatever the hell else we did, because it seems like this week has just flown by. I really can't remember too much of what we did. I know we did some food. I know it was some good food. I had a friend over that learned how to make tamales. And like I said, thank you for spending some time with me. So you got some made up for me, right? I think it's only like a 15-hour drive from Texas where you're at. So if you'd like, you can come on over. Jambalayas, Bob, empanadas are just better. Jambalaya I'm actually going to do next week. You know, it wasn't close in the... hey, here's your food. It was not close at all in the polling. Empanadas won by a landslide. So that's why we're doing empanadas today. But I will do jambalaya next week, I hope. It's just going to depend on how I feel when I wake up and what I want to cook and what I think you guys want to see. But there was quite a few of you guys that really wanted to see jambalaya, so I'm pretty sure jambalaya is going to get done next week. What's going on, Brian? Just in time. We did some empanadas today. Obviously, these are not fried yet. I got some in the fryer. So we will be doing jambalaya next week sometime. We did a French dip this week. That's what it was. Made that delicious hoagie roll bread. You know, I had fun with that one. So I want to start doing stuff with more bread. Like I said, pizza will probably be on the menu next week. It'll probably be Friday type of thing, because I like to let it go for 3 days, like I said. So just be aware of that. We'll do pizza, we'll do jambalaya, and then I might throw up another vote there and see what you guys want to do. I might actually do pizza on Wednesday instead of Friday, and kind of leave Friday as a you guys vote it and it'll happen type of thing, just to see, you know, keep you guys interacting and everything like that. So if you guys haven't yet, please like and share and follow this page. Also go check out the blog that I have not updated in almost 3 weeks. I'm trying. It's just, I get busy doing something else, my mind goes somewhere else, and I just get bored with whatever I'm doing, and then I think about it at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, you know what, I'll get to it tomorrow, and tomorrow never really comes, but I'm going to try to get back on that more, because I want you guys to try these recipes that you guys see all the time. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. But yeah, if you guys have not yet, how dare you? Shame on every single one of you if you have not liked or followed this page. What the hell are you waiting for? Do it now. Share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it with your coworkers, share it with your dogs. I don't care. Share it with everybody. We're sitting almost at 2350. It's been like that almost all week. What's going on, Bread and Vines? I'm actually going to reach out to you because I got a question about the sourdough starter. If you guys are interested in bread and Vines, MLT is the place to follow. They sent me out some sourdough starter, and I am actually on my way to having it very soon. I actually even got my sourdough proofing basket, so I can't wait to use this. So if you guys got any bread questions, check them out. They're great. Yes, YouTube. We're going to be doing a video. I'm going to have Larry over here on Sunday. It won't be a live video. I might do the live video on Sunday for the bread for our pizza dough. One second, I got to check these empanadas. Pull them up just for a second. So you might get a live video on Sunday. Just depends on how much stuff I can get done around the house and stuff done for me and my wife and everything like that. So you will get some sort of video probably on Sunday, whether it's an edited one, which we're going to work out for the first time ever. We won't do this one live. We're going to do jerk chicken. I made it a few times. I am very new when it comes to Caribbean style food. and Jamaican food. It's part of that Caribbean area. So I'm very new to that. Larry, the guy that edits and does all of this stuff, he will be over here showing me what he knows and what he's learned. And then we're going to do that, and then we'll put it up on the Facebook page, but it'll also go to the YouTube page. So we're going to try to do, I want to try to do at least once a month where we're pumping stuff into YouTube. I have noticed that, you know, it's starting to kind of decline as far as post reactions and everything like that and engagements. So I might start looking, because it is inevitable. There are bots out there. There are fake accounts and everything like that. Hold on one second. Have you had an empanada yet?
Yeah.
How is it?
Good.
Hot damn. On a scale of 1 to 10.
10.
Shit. She doesn't give 10s out very often. Just harder critic on me than me. And that's tough because I shit on myself all the time. Not literally or figuratively. So it's probably literate. You know, this business will really, you know, make you think about everything you've done with food, and if you're even doing the right thing at the same time, it'll make you say, damn, I'm really good at this. It's the weirdest profession I've ever been in. So yeah, we're gonna do a video, like I said, on that live. We won't do a live for the jerk. We'll do an edited one, so you guys might see that next week. It just depends on how long it's gonna take him to edit and cut. He is new to that portion. We've never done one yet. He's put together something very small. What's going on, Diesel? He's put together something very small. I think there might be 1 or 2 of them on there. He was doing the live videos and putting them on there. Hey man, Tim said if you can't give it a 10, you don't deserve to eat it. He'll eat it. So she'll stab the shit out of you, Tim. Be careful. Not much, man. Just wrapping some stuff up. We're actually talking empanadas today. That won last week's vote. So I'm gonna post something a little bit later for another vote. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up on Fridays and we'll close it down on Wednesdays, and we'll see what you guys want me to cook or want to see cooked. So if you have any ideas, please trust me. She's one of the scariest people you ever meet. Nicest person in the world. She's got that switch though. Watch. She's got one of these switches. Oh man, you're cool. You're dead. You're cool. You're dead. You're cool, right? She's got one of them switches. But I wouldn't want to spend it with anybody else in the world. Hopefully that gets me out of the doghouse and getting stabbed later. I'm just kidding. She don't stab people. But yeah. So if you guys want to see something food-wise that's not jambalaya, because like I said, we'll probably do pizza and jambalaya next week, just so you guys can see the process of making a dough, another dough, a different dough, a pizza dough, and what all goes into that and how easy it is and how quick it is and how much better it is than that store-bought shit. Those store-bought freezer pizzas, dog shit. Garbage, disgusting, even though I eat them every once in a while. I can't help myself. But however, this one's going to be so much better than anything you can buy in a fridge or freezer, and you will thank me and your family will thank you for making it for them. So if you guys have anything that is interesting that you guys want to see made or something different, mind you, everything is coming out of my pockets. Don't sit here and say, I want to see a filet mignon. I hate that fucking cut of meat. I'm not doing a filet, so you guys can just take that one out there. If you guys want to see something cool, like paella would be fun. That is essentially a jambalaya, and I don't want to do 2 types of jambalayas in the same week. But it is essentially a jambalaya, but it hails from the place of Spain and is almost 100% seafood with the exception of the rice and a couple other ingredients. So try to keep seafood out of it because I am the only one that'll eat seafood. Wife's not a fan of it at all. So if you guys have anything you want to see, please pop in the comments. Throw me a message. Quite a few of you guys have reached out. Thank you. I appreciate it. And said some stuff or asked some stuff. I really like the interactions, like I said, with all the posts. That's why I keep doing them, because I want to get everybody in here. But going back to what I was saying about inactive members and possibly bots, I am going to start throwing out stuff to see who and who isn't interacting. Now, obviously, you guys won't interact with everything. I talk to quite a few of you guys almost daily. It's like your friends and family and kids and stuff and shit like that. So yeah, it's been really cool seeing different people and talking to different people all around the world. It's really cool. But I will start getting rid of accounts that are liking and following this page that have no interaction, that have not interacted, that are just hanging out, because I want the numbers to reflect the people that are actually here. I don't give a shit if this gets up to 10 million. I don't give a shit if this drops to 10. You know, I do it for me, but I do it for the people that really want to see it and the people that really want to learn and cook. Nothing I do, you guys can't do yourself. Nothing I do, you guys can't read about or watch somebody else that's better looking or quicker or more versed in the English vernacular. You know, there's so many different things that you guys could be doing, watching and seeing and reading about, and I appreciate you guys. And I want to give everybody that pays attention and watches and interacts and talks and asks questions and all this other crazy shit, I want to give them more attention than anybody that might be or might not be a real account. So, to help me out, please interact with anything you guys would like, whether it's a heart, a thumbs up, a laughing, angry, smiling, I don't give a shit. Interact with it, man. It's fun. I like seeing what you guys say. I like seeing what you guys think, because that's how ideas are really fleshed out, and that's how ideas really come together and be better than what they were before. So, like I said, please interact with the photos, the videos, this thing. You know, if you guys have any questions at all, I don't give a shit if it's about a comic book, a movie, a cartoon, a car. I don't know shit about cars, but I can help you out. There's plenty of people that are into cars in this page. But if you guys have any questions at all, please, please, please ask. If I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know, but I will get you an answer. Done that a couple times on here. Grandpa always said, never trust a skinny cook. There's a few skinny cooks out there that just like to run more than I like to run. You know, I was running quite often last year, but before I hurt my back again. You know, so it's kind of thrown me out of whack there. But there's some skinny chefs out there and skinny cooks out there that are really good. But like I said, please interact with the photos, with the polls, with the questions, and anything you guys can. You guys don't know how much the engagement really helps the page. The more you guys heart and laugh and smile and like stuff, you know, it adds up and more people see it in their feed. Like I said, we've hit kind of like a lull this week with only really 50 maybe new members, which I'll take 50 in a week over, you know, 2 in a week. However, you know, we aren't growing as much as we need to. However, you guys can help me help you by sharing, like I said, and engaging in the posts. This has been Julian in the Vanilla Gorilla Kitchen. This has been Empanadas, fish sticks, French dips, and fucking tamales, man. We've done all of this week. There's only 2 F words this week, I think. Maybe on the other ones. I don't know yet. There's only been 2. My wife says 3. You guys tell me if it's 2 or 3, because sometimes she listens and sometimes she doesn't. She just likes to say 3 for 3. But she's probably right. Anyways, oh man, you inspire me, brother. I like that, Trado. I miss you. Nice tattoos. I'm so surprised that the Navy is letting people get tattoos on their hands. It's crazy, man. They threw some crazy shit over getting, you know, a 4-leaf clover on a finger or some crazy shit like that. I like the artwork you're getting, man. Keep it up. So, like, share, follow, heart, everything you can with this video. Like, share, heart, follow everything you can with the photo I'll share with you guys shortly. Engage if you guys want to engage. I really want to see everybody's interaction. I want to see what people are thinking and what people are cooking. Once a week, maybe twice a week, I'll start throwing up a post there saying, what are you guys cooking? I actually got that from somebody that sent me a picture of something they wanted to share with the group. It was a peach cobbler. I'm sorry, I can't remember your name. Names are horrible for me. If you had a funny nickname, 100% I would have remembered it and put you out there. But it's just the way my brain works. Huh?
I said, wow.
I'm sorry. I'll give you a shout out once I remember and get to the messages. Don't take any offense to it. I'm horrible. Most of the time, I call one of my 4 dogs the opposite name, and they just look at me like I'm the bad guy, right? Ingrates. I feed them, I clean up after them, and then they just, screw this guy type of thing. Anyways, like I said, like, share, subscribe, follow. Tell your friends, tell your coworkers, tell your animals. Don't tell anybody that's a bot. And please, please, please keep coming back. Check back daily. Sometimes half a days, I'll post something else. Interact with it. Thank you again. This has been Empanada Friday. This has been Julian with the Vanilla Gorilla Kitchen. From me to you, thank you and enjoy and have a great weekend. Tell somebody something nice today. It's all on you. Bye-bye.